as you can see, we got quite a few lights out in the garden. We started off just traditional lights. We got some RGBs in there with a mega tree and some arches. We get quite a lot of people coming around and looking at it.
That's an understatement.
There's a few thousand coming around. Probably the biggest reaction we've got from people was when we started sequencing, when we started putting the music in. The second biggest reaction was when we put Santa in the window. And that's what we try to do something different every year. And so this year, we've got a two-story house. I just wanted to point out the safety features. We do have a harness, and so I actually only send Adrian to the edges of the roof. So basically, yeah, we get Santa up in the window, and he comes up and he's animated. He waves, and the reaction we've got from the kids is unbelievable. They just stand there, so their mouths open, can't believe what's going on. And it's probably also the biggest talking point for the adults, because because we're outside and they come up and say, "How do you do that?" And it's great to get that interaction with the people that are coming around. Half of them, in fact more than half, probably think it's a TV that we've put in the window. But it actually is so simple to do a projection. There are some drawbacks as well. So basically what we need is a rear projection screen. So you need to get a special screen rather than the normal screen. It doesn't cost a lot, probably about 70, 80 bucks.
I just used a shower curtain.
Yeah.
Just a opaque white shower curtain. Yeah. And it's mounted right. Yeah.
But as you say, one of the problems is, especially as you've got bright lights around it, is actually to get that brightness effect in there. So I got a special rear projection screen, so that's going to give you the maximum coming through.
Did you use something else before you had the screen? Did you try sheets and something like that?
No,
you went straight to that.
I just went. My boys got me for my birthday present. It was on my list.
I should have gone like a sheet, would have been a lot cheaper. $10 from Target.
And then the projector. Obviously, the projector is the important part. Now, this is where the issues start to happen. You've got to get the right projector. You can get one for 150 bucks on eBay. The trouble is, it's not bright enough. There's not enough lumens, especially when you're going to have it next to those bright lights around the window. So you really need at least 1500 lumens to. So you can actually get video by Virtual Santa online. Most of it's that. You wouldn't bother with the sound. And it's very American. Some of the videos that they do, you've never used with him sat talking to his missus, supposedly.
Is there sound on this? Yeah. The sound's quite funny.
Yeah.
I thought white copy.
But yeah, so we wouldn't put the sound through the system. You've just got basically Santa coming up and waving to the kids and what have you. But as far as
you have it on all the time.
This is one of the problems, because if you wanted to connect it, if you wanted a DMX projector, you're talking megabytes, and I wasn't going to go for that. So yes, you have to go back to the traditional method of turning it on and turning it off at the end of the day.
What about using a Pi?
Yeah, I use a Pi with
I am using.
and I don't leave it on all the time.
I use the Pi, and I leave that on all the time. That's ideal. So it's always there, but actually turning the projector on itself, you can't even use a timer, because you can put the power to it, but you still got to press the button to.
You can still use a Pi to turn it on and off as well. There's
Depends on the projector.
yeah. You've got to wire it into it. Yeah.
That's why I have kids.
Oh, So that's to be investigated between now and Christmas. But again, a lot depends on which projector you get. The one I've got, it cost about $500, but it's really, you know, it's got a good
You can tell by how
luminance, but it doesn't have it has keystone correction.
How many lumens do you have?
It's 2200. So that is great. That is fine, but all it's got is keystone. So again, one of the issues you have there is you've got to be right behind the window because you can't come to one side because it hasn't got the sideways keystone correction. The cheaper projectors don't have a zoom. So again, you've actually got to have enough space behind the window that allows you've actually just got to move the projector forwards and backwards till you get the to make that fit into the window. And so it means that in some places you can't, you know, you haven't got the room behind. So there's a lot of, unless you're willing to spend, you know, $2,000 or $3,000 on a projector, there are going to be negatives to it. But for me, as long as I get my missus to switch it on in the evening and switch it off at the end of the day, the effect it's had for the kids is absolutely brilliant.
Have you, with yours, sort of got Santa real life size? When I did mine, it took me ages to work out that it was an actual real size. At first I had it like, Santa was like 8-9 foot tall, like 200 kilo, that's not quite right. And because I had to actually set up my projector every night for the location, I had to basically put some sticky tape on the ground because it's got to go in. Because otherwise, have you got a similar setup with yours, or have you just not bothered about how accurately sized it is?
Coincidentally, almost good size. The size of the window is, I don't know, the size of the whiteboard maybe. And when you project it at the right distance, it's almost umpire. It's a little bit bigger than a human, just makes it look extra fat when it's on the screen. But it's fairly.
But when you're looking from, it's in the upstairs windows you see. So when you're looking from down below, and you know, from 5-10 meters away, you can't tell that as a problem.
The kids don't know.
No.
Yeah.
Mine was
It just looks more jolly.
He's as big as the window. But as you said, he's 18'6".
People think there's someone in the
Kids
window.
don't say Santa, they don't say anything about all the big cat Santa or anything else. And for all the newbies, buy one. Yeah. This is first, and there's a gap, and there's your lights.
This is.
I actually threw that up on the Mavericks last year. We got about 3 or 4 different videos, and the kids absolutely. It was only a 3x3.
Mine's actually.
The kids loved it,
Yeah.
and from the distance, you know, it looked good enough.
You can, but it's not as realistic. Mine's actually
We've got big
the house.
Yeah.
The balcony upstairs, there's 2 doors, like glass doors, and I've got it projected on that, and it sort of looks like there's the bit where he walks backwards and forwards in the one I've got. It sort of looks like he's going into the bedrooms that are either side, and comes back to stop. And it's not. I noticed yours is really, really super bright. Mine's a little bit dull, and because of the lights around, you sort of go, hang on, hey. And I've got a lot of the kids going, there's someone here.
And that's the important bit. You read about. I did a lot of research on that. You know, you read about it. It says, yeah, you can do it with a, you know, sort of $100 projector, but you can't. You really need to get. Yeah.
I can get you.
Also, putting it in the window, like Adrian said, it looks like, with a couple of videos here, it walks in and across the screen, so it looks like it's walking, because it's a brick wall, then a window, then a brick wall, so it walks, it looks like it's walking into a window as if it were a real person, and kids often say, it's someone in your house. It's like it's just a computer screen, TV screen. Yeah.
Kids love it.
Yeah.
I've had kids tell me that my house is where Santa stays when he comes to town.
Yeah, that's good. Oh, you can have some great fun with it.
I ran with it. So I tell the other kids, this is where Santa stays when he comes to town. And this 5-year-old said, where's the reindeer?
The other thing, just as a matter of interest, the other thing that's caused a great deal of excitement for the kids is the snow machine. Again, my boys bought it for me for my birthday. And you know, we said that again. It's not that actually is DMX, but sort of we actually do it manually. You know, when we're out there.
Up until last year, I went through 5 J-car snow machines in 5 days. In just gone, so I actually ended up buying 2 semi-commercial ones, and I found a place which is called actual Artistic Den, and you can buy a 5-litre container of the concentrate for just over $110, and it'll make 1,000 litres of snow. I was going through up to 25 litres of snow every night just on one machine. So I'm actually making the frame that I have up out front. It was supposed to be last year, but I couldn't. Is you'll have 2 snow machines next to each other with a 25-litre container on top of each and feed down into it. And the reason why I'm getting it up is what you're seeing there, those kids are good. I've literally had kids hitting the machine to get the snow, and last year I actually had adults pushing kids out of the road to get to the bloody snow and hanging on to the lights.
Yeah, and I actually got them on ground level. That's always the challenge I've had, is I don't really have anywhere to mount them on high, whereas it's near me is the way it's gardened to do it.
That's just on a workbench.
Yeah, one.
Container.
With the and you see it's a
That's
container to put it at the angle. But you know that's a fairly decent one. It's not a J-car one.
No.
We went through the fluid so quickly, it was ridiculous. So I then went googling and got a recipe. And it was so simple. It's distilled water, a bit of alcohol, bubble bath.
Bubble bath?
Yeah.
I'll actually tell you now. You go on to eBay, and a place called Artistic Den, because I used to do that as well. And they've got the concentrate there. You just put it in the bucket. What I use is actually a paint mixer in it. It just goes on a cordless drill, bang, and off you go.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, and it's the best thing since sliced bread. It makes it a lot cheaper because you can use normal tap water.
Yeah.
You don't have to go and buy distilled water.
Honestly, distilled water, if you pull one of those apart, have a look what's in them.
Yeah.
There's
No way anyone going to use anything but tap water.
Yeah.
They are simple.
Talking about the projectors, I bought off eBay an ultra short throw projector. They're the ones that sit above the screens. My projector sits, it's like 3 foot away from the window on the floor, and it just bounces up, does a brilliant job. Paid $150 for it.
Okay.
It's network compatible, it does everything indents. And the globes are $250. So when the globe goes, I just go and buy another one off eBay.
And how many lumens is that?
It's about 2,000, 2,500. It's a decent quotation, it's a decent kit.
For how much? Sorry?
Oh, $150. I'm going to upset you. I bought
Yeah.
the other week one like this. It was a Dell, 3,500 lumens. It's a normal projector, so it doesn't have the short throw and everything else. $220 delivered, and it's got 6 hours on that globe. The remote control was still wrapped in plastic. Was that used? Obviously, it was an IT department getting rid of last year's lease or whatever it was.
Yeah.
But there are some good projectors out there on eBay. If you hunt around for them, you've got 6 months to go looking for them. Not there all the time.